how to concentrate. So I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because I want you to get locked in on your work, and I don't want you to watch these YouTube videos and listen to this episode as long more than you need to. Breaks down to 3 principles. 1, focus. You need to have a singular focus, a singular task. So if you think about your to-do list, right, you have all these things to do, right? Instead of trying to multitask and stress out about finishing them one by one, just cover, like literally circle one task, the highest leverage task that must be done, and write it down on a separate piece of paper, on a sticky note or something, and isolate it. And then make that the one focus you'll do for a certain period of time. So just focus on that one thing until it's done, right? That one thing on your to-do list, focus on it until it's done. You don't look at everything else on the to-do list until this one thing on your sticky note is done. Once it's done, then you can go back to the list and then pick out another thing, isolate it, and then do it. And then you can work open to goal here. You can work until you achieve or finish that task, right? You don't set a timer, you don't take a break or anything like that. You just work until this thing is done. And then you can take a break, or then you can move on to the next task. That's the idea of one focus. Then obviously no distractions. You cannot have your phone anywhere near you. You don't want to hear any notifications. You don't want to hear any vibration. You don't want to have people calling you, texting you, or anything like that. You want to just lock in now for this work. And then after this session, you can look at your phone and respond to stuff. That's okay. But in the moment, you just want to reduce the amount of distractions that you have. And like obviously, besides your phone, there's other distractions. Like don't eat anything. Don't have food anywhere near you. Don't have people walking by. Don't have someone talking to you. Don't have someone that can positively interrupt you. Just try to minimize the distractions in your environment as much as possible. And that will create a place that is conducive to concentration. And then the final thing, which is arguably the most crucial, the most important aspect of concentration, it is health. You need to have some level of priority for sleep and diet if you want to be able to concentrate. In terms of priority, it is not as important as focus and minimizing distractions, but it still has an influence on your concentration and your ability to stay dialed in on one thing and complete it within an adequate amount of time without being distracted and doing multiple things at the same time. So, what does that look like? It means getting enough sleep, so 7 to 8 hours. If you have trouble with that, just go watch like a Peter Attia episode or something, and he'll tell you to probably go to bed at the same time. Or Andrew Huberman, right? Andrew Huberman podcast about sleep. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, get sunlight in the morning, drink a lot of water, don't go on your phone before bed. That's essentially it. And then if you're really feeling fancy, splurge on a mattress that cools your body or heats your body and lifts your head and does all the sciencey stuff to optimize your sleep even more. But that's obviously crazy, out of my budget at least. But if you can afford that, then it's definitely worth it. And diet, just don't drink alcohol, don't do drugs, try to avoid sugar and carbs as much as possible, and I wouldn't even worry about supplements. I think it just adds complexity. Just eat clean, don't eat the processed foods, don't eat the junk. And I mean, it's easy for me to just say it, but it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of pain to go through to eventually fix your diet, fix your sleep, to cut out distractions, to focus on one thing. But if you can, this is the ultimate goal. If you can get to this point, then you're good. Your concentration is going to be peak. You'll be locked in, and your work output will be a lot better than you initially thought was possible. Because beforehand, you were distracted. You were trying to do too many things at the same time. You weren't getting enough sleep. Your diet was kind of messed up. And so you got a certain level of output that you might be proud of, but now you're going to be able to work the same amount of time and get like twice or triple the amount of output. And when you see those numbers start to stack up, man, when you start to see your to-do list just get absolutely demolished in half the time, it's pretty incredible. So this is how you concentrate. Hope this helps. Goodbye.